What's up, fellow gardeners? How you guys doing? My name is Justin. Welcome to the Sabbath Gardens YouTube channel. And here at our channel, we're going to be testing out two primary principles. The first is that of keeping the instructions of Scripture and letting our land rest on the Sabbath. That means the seventh day of every single week, we do no gardening, no pruning, no watering, no picking, no plucking, no digging, nothing. We let the land absolutely rest on the Sabbath, as we as a family also rest on the Sabbath in keeping with the instructions. And we believe that in doing so we can receive some really awesome benefits as promised in the Scriptures, and we're going to test that out. The second thing is the principles of permaculture, which have been quickly growing and gaining popularity over the last few decades, as we see people like Paul Gauci from Back to Eden Gardening, and other people like Charles Dowding with the no-till, and some of my other favorites, which I've listed on the profile page of the YouTube channel as my recommendations. But we're testing out some of those new sort of principles that are maybe not new historically speaking, because they have been around for a decade or two. However, they're new to most urban gardeners, most backyard gardeners, the no-till, no-dig, cover the ground method. And we're going to talk about what that means on the channel a lot. But first of all, I just want to say that I'm completely and totally new to this. I started gardening when I moved into this house, which was about 3 months ago. So although I did do a lot of research leading up to that time, I mean probably well over a year's worth of research on different gardening methods and how to get started, I wasn't able to actually plant and do anything beyond container plants in my rentals. But now that we actually have a place to sit still and stay put, we're able to actually start moving and do some permanent damage here, and really try and build a food forest, which we will again discuss more about what that means on the channel. So what I'd like to do is give you a tour of the garden today, and then in future videos we're going to talk about the exact projects I'm doing, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and why. And again, I'm going to need a lot of your feedback, a lot of your helpful hints, because I am completely new to this, so hopefully you can help me learn. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the garden, and then I'll catch you later. Alright, so we're actually on the side of the house right now, and we were very blessed to be able to get this house a couple months ago, and it has this really cool walkway all along the side of the house. And they also built this really cool stone retaining wall here that I actually turned into a planter, and I really would like to put a lot of pole beans and tomatoes, cucumbers, and staked type plants up in here. But I've already started experimenting with that a little bit on the wall with these Super Cherry 100 tomatoes. Went ahead and built a little bed here. It's probably 1.5 feet deep. We got these guys growing up on the fence here, and I'm already so excited because when I put them in, they were like this big, and it's been maybe 5 weeks and they're getting pretty big. Got some little baby tomatoes coming out. There's like 20 something on there already, and like I said, we just planted in here. So again, I'd love to do a whole lot more with this space. And just also learned about trash can potato gardening. So for those of you who are familiar with that, it's pretty cool. And for those of you who aren't, then you're going to be learning with me as well. And I'll explain what I'm doing here, how I set this up, and what's in there and why and how on another video. So here's a little tomato I put in. One of the first ones I put in, actually. And I've already taken 2 tomatoes off of this plant, and they're inside. And I thought it was an indeterminate tomato when I bought it, but it's acting like a determinate, if you know what that means. So got a little shed out here. This walkway actually extends all the way around to the end of this screened in area here. So anyway, this whole area was all grass when I moved in, and what I did, I came in and I put in some cardboard and pine mulch. And again, we'll talk about that more later, but it goes back to that concept that I mentioned earlier, which is permaculture, sort of back to Eden gardening. The idea is you just cover the ground. The ground needs to be covered like our skin does, like our skin covers us. There's a lot of vital organs underneath the soil, and the best thing you can do to improve your soil right now is to actually cover it up and kill the grass, let the worms come in, and kill the sunshine underneath it. back there I'm actually, I don't know if you can tell, I'll go ahead and walk back here real quick. Put these 2 banana trees in about a month ago. They're dwarf bananas, so they're not going to get probably much bigger than this fence here. Some of the other banana varieties can get way big, like 20 feet or something like that. I built this little trellis here last week and planted some cucumber babies, and these guys are actually from seed. So I got 6 of those here. Eventually they'll be climbing up in there. Around here I have a little strawberry patch, and I don't know if you can see those. There. That one's already putting out 1 or 2 strawberries. There. I think there's 8 in total over here, and really looking forward to that. Got some basil right there. Again, like I really don't know what I'm doing other than what I've just researched and learned in the last couple months. But I want to put maybe a row of spices and herbs back here, trying to bring in some butterflies and insects, vital insects, and hummingbirds. Why can't I think of that? Bring in some butterflies and hummingbirds. But back here I put in 2 rows of okra from seed. They're babies right now. I don't know if you can see those. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm actually extending this bed over here, which is just one giant bed now. It was all grass. And that bed's gonna actually extend all the way across. And this will be one giant bed across this fence that I can use for planting everything. All kinds of stuff. Papaya right there. Plumeria right here. It's dormant right now. Got some blueberry bushes back here. I've already taken a few off of here, and they are good, man. Very, very good. Very sweet. 2 blueberry bushes. And you can kind of see what I'm doing with the cardboard here. I'm about to get ready to prep all this ground to turn it into a bed as well. And I'll do a video on that to show you kind of how I'm doing that again and why. Here we have a couple burgundy bush beans, peach tree. Back here we have a whole row of corn I just put in. All these are from seed also, so they're already getting pretty big. And then a key lime tree with some Blue Lake variety bush beans around that. And I just finished my chicken coop about, I think 10 days ago, maybe something like that. I've been sharing some pictures on Facebook for those of y'all who have seen those, and got my hens as well. And they're about 3.5 months old, so from what I'm told, they're not going to start laying for another 2.5 months, something like that. But this was a project in itself, just building this run around that coop in there. Got a lot of raccoons around here, and this area is notorious for chickens getting murdered by raccoons. So this is actually the second box that I planted in. These were all tiny little babies when I put them in, and it's been so exciting to see that this system is working with the mulch. And of course I'm going with all organic products, soils. Of course I can't really say that for the mulch, it's just pretty much, it's dead anyways. But here's the second bed I built recently. Got some babies in there. I got a lot more planting to do in this bed. It's not really ready. It's not really done, I should say. And then I can't actually plant in here because there's a septic system that I can't plant over. I don't want to mess with. So my space is sort of limited. So again, turning that whole area into one bed is going to be really beneficial. Got a little greenhouse, a little cheap one. You can get these on Amazon for about 80 bucks. Letting it air out right now. Got some seeds sprouting real nice inside of there. Again, we'll get into that stuff later. And here's my last 2 beds here for now. Got a row of celery, a row of broccoli, jalapeno, red bell peppers, and banana peppers. And as you can see, they're getting pretty big back there. And finally, a little bed of peas. And from what I'm told, it is too late in in the game in Florida to be planting peas, because they really prefer colder weather. It's going to start getting really warm here in the next couple months, so I'm not really sure if they're going to last. But I've just planted them anyway, so I went ahead and put them in the shadiest area of my yard, so they'll get the least amount of sun, hopefully stay a little cooler, and we'll see if they survive the Florida heat. But yeah, that's my garden. I've been really busy. I'm actually going to plant the front of the house too. There's a huge bed out there that was been used, you know, for the way most people's front yard beds are used, just for like ornamental, pretty stuff that you put in. So I'm going to pull all that stuff out. The bed has already been mulched for years, so the soil under there is going to be fantastic. And so all I'm really going to have to do is just pull the pretty stuff out, put the actual nuts, berries, vegetables, herbs, and all that in, and the bed should be ready to go to plant straight into. Put some fresh mulch on it, and yeah. So the idea, the concept is to eventually, or over time, build what is called a food forest. And there's a guy I really like, his name's James Prigioni. I linked his channel in my favorite channels recommendation list on my profile, my YouTube profile, if you want to go find his stuff. But really perfecting this art of turning your space into a culture, an ecosystem in your own backyard, where plants are actually chosen because they're companion plants and they benefit one another. They provide shade for each other, they provide nitrogen for each other, and you build a forest that all works together in your own yard. So that's the plan. As this corn comes up, and the lemon tree comes up, and the papaya comes up, and everything starts to come up, I got to continually think about the space I have and how I'm going to use it, how I'm going to maximize even this space all over here. And I really want to get to a point where my family is eating most of our fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and berries off of our own land, our own yard. And look at this. On the one hand, this is a really cool walkway. We like really love it. It's super cool. It's nice. It's clean. On the other hand, my yard is gone. I mean, literally, because of this giant screened-in section and these pavers, my yard is pretty much gone. So I have to get creative. I can't use too much of this land over here because of the septic, so I'm forced to use raised beds. I'm going to be forced to use containers, and I'm forced to turn normal yard space into giant beds and maximize every inch of this yard to get as much out of it as I can. So this is definitely its infancy stage. It's by no means even close to being finished, and I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. So I just thought it would be really cool to spend that time talking about it with you guys, and hopefully through what I learn, maybe you guys can learn something too. I know many of you are far ahead of where I'm at. I've already met some people just recently who have huge homesteads, huge farms, and they are probably laughing at me because they probably think I'm adorable because I'm getting into this just now. But for those of you who don't know anything, like I don't, then I'm just going to share what I know and what I'm learning and what's working, and hopefully encourage some of you to get out there and start planting as well. So look forward to hanging out with you guys, look forward to making more videos for you guys, some that are hopefully informative, instructive. And again, if you have tips, tricks, whatever, for anything you see, let me know, because we need them. Like, definitely need them. We want to help each other out, and we're definitely looking forward to growing together. So shalom, brothers and sisters, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Real quick, two things I forgot to mention. First, we're in Palm Bay, Florida, so that's our temperate zone. And second, we're going to be getting into microgreens. So if you guys are interested in learning how to grow your own microgreens, we're going to actually try and learn to grow them and sell them. And luckily we have some brothers and sisters who live just a few houses down. They're going to help me by letting me use their garage space. So looking forward to getting into that as well. See you guys.